Oh, yeah. Here we are. Of course, we both put something pink on.
I love that.
This is like maybe the only time you'll ever see me in something pink.
Wow.
We'll roll with the pink punches.
Wow.
Here we are in our glorious pink.
Today's topic is pickles and the pink pandemic.
I'm already laughing. Before we go any further, let's discuss this little sipper we're about to do. Hopefully we do pause to like run for the toilet. I know that makes it sound really ominous. Have you ever had a pickleback shot? Because I've not.
I've never heard of a pickleback.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this little pre-story. So I heard.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's 10:06 a.m.
Oh, yes. Okay, we should state that for the record. Yes, it's 10:06.
It's 10:06 a.m.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Also, I should state for the record that I may or may not have had this gotten together with two of my girlfriends last night, which you know because you stopped by during the intermission before we segued from margaritas to martinis. Not my finest decision. Because my children are not here this weekend and I wanted to let off some steam. So my girlfriends and I went and got some margaritas. And then we came back and we were like, in all our infinite wisdom, hey, martinis sound like a really good idea. So we had perhaps the classiest dance party ever as we sipped martinis and danced around my kitchen. And then you stopped by briefly. And then after you left, we moved into the karaoke realm, which was really amazing. So apparently pickleback shots are really good hair of the dog. So I feel fine this morning, but if I didn't, this would apparently be my solution.
Wait, okay. I never heard this expression, hair of the dog.
You've never heard the expression hair of the dog?
No.
Really? That's fascinating to me.
I have no idea. Like it's a hangover cure?
Hair of the dog is like when you get belligerent the night before and you wake up the next morning and you feel like shit. You feel like you've been run over by a Mack truck. And so as a cure, you drink more. Now, I'm not suggesting this to anyone. I don't particularly believe in this. I can't even drink coffee if I'm hungover. So if you ever see me not drinking coffee in the morning, you know it's either I'm headed to go have a colonoscopy and they won't let me drink coffee, or I've been drinking the night before and I overdid it. So miraculously this morning after margaritas and martinis, because no one should be feeling okay after that, miraculously I feel great. I even drank like 3 cups of coffee this morning. However, hair of the dog would be if I were feeling really just tore up this morning and then, did a couple of shots. I guess the theory is that if you go from drunk to drunk, you just forget about it. I don't know. To me, that means that you would have an even bigger hangover later. That's what I would think.
On a terrible foundation of unwellness.
It really is, yeah. But to be fair, like there's really no foundation of wellness if you're drinking too much to begin with. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It has its moments, but okay. So all of this to say that I heard of the pickleback shot for the first time last year. So as you know, I'm the associate editor and lead Nashville writer for a digital lifestyle publication, and my boss, who's really kick-ass, took us all on a cruise for our company offsite. And we were in Mexico, and one of my coworkers, we were all, walking around and having a great time together and going to lunch. And before we got back on the ship to head home, she was like, hey, who wants to have tequila and a pickleback shot? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she's like, yeah, pickleback shot. And everybody's like, oh yeah, pickleback shot, awesome. And somehow everybody but me knew what this was, as if it's like this, totally normal thing. Apparently it is very normal, and pickle brine has, my understanding is that it coats your stomach in a way that, to me, there's so much sodium that you're probably like you know, petrifying your insides in some fashion or another. But yeah, and a lot of then I had this conversation with someone else the other day who was telling me that they drink it before bed because it helps Charlie horses, and a lot of athletes drink it.
Oh, I could see that because of the sodium.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I know our girl Taylor Swift, she loves a good pickle juice as a
Really?
Yeah, that's what I found out.
Well, this is perfect then, because that's mostly who we were having our dance party to last night, which my children don't listen to this because they're going to be like, oh my God, Mom, we go away and the first thing you do is have a dance party to Taylor Swift without us. That's going to be
Just like when they come home, that's the first thing you do when they arrive back. Like, we're doing a dance party right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, so my coworkers all did these tequila shots with pickleback. And I just watched on in horror because I thought this is not something that I can handle and then get on a ship.
Okay, so you did not partake.
No, because if I had gotten on a ship, can you imagine? I would have been so seasick. There's no way. However, we're not on a ship this morning. And so despite the fact that it is nary 2:00, we've prepped a shot of whiskey. Let's hold it up for a shot of whiskey and a shot of pickle juice. And it's apparently you can just use any old pickle juice. So this is, like regular old dill pickle,
Kosher dill
pickle juice. But I do have a fun surprise for you, which I did not tell you when I gave you this shot.
Well, thank you, because you know how we just don't get enough surprises in life. So right now I'm very excited.
Well, this is a surprise, all right. So I just want you to know that the whiskey you are currently drinking is called chicken cock. It's called chicken cock.
No. Oh my word.
And lest you think that I went out and purchased a whiskey called chicken cock, I did not. And it's apparently been around for many, many, many years. Now, it says established 1856. So perhaps when this was established, the word cock did not have quite the impact that it does now.
Very punchy.
Yes. So, but I own this whiskey because it was given to me by a friend. We were cleaning out an office, and she was like, okay, who wants this whiskey? Oh, Jenna, you're gonna want this. You'll drink this. Why am I the first person you think of when viewing a whiskey called chicken cock? So I don't know the answer to that. I actually don't know the answer, but the friend clearly knows me well because I think it's I laugh every time I look at it. So yeah, so here we are with our chicken cock whiskey shot and our pickle.
I don't do hard liquor. I do tequila cocktails. I don't do shots.
Yeah.
And I'm physically terrified right now. Like, I woke up at 3:41 this morning thinking about this, and I could not go back to sleep.
Are you going to anxiety walk about the chicken cock shot?
I ran 4 miles this morning, Jenna.
What?
I ran 4 miles because I was like, I've got to get this out of my body. So here we are, a sweaty Tom, and I'm ready to do this.
No, I'm so sorry that I've done this to you. I feel terrible.
My eyes are watering already just thinking about it.
I don't even know what to say. I feel bad. I don't know. That this to be like a peer pressure situation.
Literally nothing that you could ever do or say that would cause me to feel this way. It's me. It's just me.
Are you saying you're afraid of the cock? Okay, sorry, I couldn't help myself. It was right there.
No, I do have a jacket that says no dicks on it. So
okay, well, I need that. All right. Here we are. Are we ready? Are we ready for this? Okay. What time is it? 10:16. 10:16. Here we go. And cheers. Yeah, I'm not like I can't even. There it is. There it is.
Oh dear.
But you did it. You did it. You did it.
Oh,
Are you okay?
fine. Are we doing this one now?
I don't know which one's worse.
I prefer the pickle.
So wait, there is kind of, I would like to note the irony of drinking a whiskey called chicken cock right before drinking pickle juice.
I'm feeling all kinds of hot and fuzzy in here.
You shouldn't be feeling fuzzy. Don't feel.
I feel some fuzziness. It's like a pink pickle fuzziness.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Speaking of pink pickle fuzziness, don't let me forget to tell you. I want to tell you. I did a little bit of research about where the pickleback was created, and I think it's kind of interesting. And so I think we should throw that out there. Why not learn a little history of the pickleback shot before we go any further? However, I do want to make sure that I don't forget to mention later pink pickle fuzziness of this bathroom that I had, in which, and this was many, many years ago, pre-children and marriage and all of those things, but that it had in it a giant pink stuffed penis from a Hustler store. So pink fuzzy pickle reminded me of that. So don't let me forget to tell you about this. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, but so
many questions, right?
you should have a lot of questions. I still have questions, and I owned it. Okay, so I wanted, from a research standpoint, to just say apparently it wasn't even until 2006 that the pickleback shot, although pickle brine in cocktails, and it's been around forever. But what I read was that in 2006, there was a bartender in Brooklyn by the name of Reggie Cunningham who gave the shot its now famous name, and it was at the Bushwick Country Club. Who knew? So it was actually a more recent thing. You know, we've got all kinds of really cool classic cocktails that have been around for centuries, and that is not the case, although people were drinking pickle juice. This was apparently this guy, for whatever reason, he's the one who gave it the pickleback name.
Sir Reggie.
Sir Reggie. Pickleback sounds dangerously close to Nickelback. Do you remember that group?
I could not forget them, although I try.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you're going to forget the Pickleback too. So,
no, I'd never want to do that again.
You know what? I don't either. To be fair, I don't either. And I really now more than ever am feeling like I made a very sound decision to not do that prior to getting on a cruise ship.
I can see that confirmation abounds for you right now.
Yes, it really does. Yeah. If people are just listening and they can't see, Ashley is wearing this light pink sequin number.
You can't really tune in to view this one on our YouTube, but yes, definitely we should describe for listeners.
Yes, absolutely. Also, I want to mention, going back to the pickleback, for those people who were not who were listening but not viewing, that we have these fancy schmancy little glasses, shot glasses.
I did not.
Oh my God, you didn't drink the whole thing?
No, I could only fit so much in my mouth.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Okay. We've officially hit a low.
That didn't take long, did it?
No, it really didn't. Episode 2. What up? I don't know where I got these glasses, and I wish I could remember because they're so pretty. I have, as we've discussed before, this giant dish overflow pantry. It's supposed to be a pantry, is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to contain food. But instead, my dumbass has it filled with recipe books, and I have to make it look pretty, and I gotta
beautiful. I was just going to say, every time I go to like let your dogs out or something, like I'm like, I know that the dog treats are in there, so I go, oh, there's just so much cool stuff in here to look at.
There's a lot to look at. I have, among other things, official Playboy glasses.
Oh.
Official Playboy glasses that I got at the mansion. Fun fact, years ago, I was invited to the Playboy Mansion.
And you went.
And I went. And I had to park. This was obviously when I was living in LA. I had to park. I know we're totally getting sidetracked here, but this is what I do.
Love it.
I get sidetracked really easily, but it's always a fun, weird story. And so we parked in this giant parking lot near UCLA, and they shuttled all of us over via bus to the mansion. And we were able to like stroll the grounds, and there were peacocks and crazy things and lots of Playboy models, with their hair flowing and underneath the waterfall in the grotto, and the whole thing. Yeah. But anyway, as a parting gift, they gave me Playboy glasses. And I do still have those because, my whole thing, I know you know this well, my whole thing at my house is every time you come over and we have a drink of any kind, we have to toast and you have to pick your own glass, whatever glass speaks to you. And it's always so fascinating to me to see what people pick. And I think it says a lot about their mood. It's sort of a, how they say dogs look like their owners.
Yes.
So I think the glass you choose in some way says something about you.
I take my time when you tell me to go and choose my glass. I'm like, ooh, what am I feeling today? But I've never even noticed the Playboy glasses.
Well, they're kind of half hidden in the back, namely because I'm trying to keep my children from asking me what the little bunny is from. And it's interesting to me, too, how long it takes people because you're very thoughtful in your choice, right? So you look through, and there are multiple cabinets that have glasses in them spread throughout the upstairs. And some people will just like grab the first glass they see and be like, give me the drink, and then other people take their time and find something that really speaks to them in that moment. And I just think it's such an interesting, cool thing. So that's one of our little rituals at the house is to choose your own glass. So in any given occasion when we're having glasses here with drinks, I'm going to try in my 47-year-old brain to recall where I've gotten them. Because there are some cool stories behind some of them. But these I wish I could remember, and I sadly don't.
Well, they sure are lovely. That's the only thing I know.
Well,
right
thank
now.
you.
And I feel a little bit drunk already.
And you know what?
I feel like I just felt my shoulders go down for the first time since 2006.
I'm so glad. Well, that's interesting. So maybe you will be having another pickleback shot.
I'm married in 2006, and I'm not married now, and these picklebacks are being finished.
I am so impressed with you right now. I thought I thought those were going down the sink drain.
No, they went down this drain.
Okay. I'm really impressed that you just did that. Great. Good for you. You finished them.
Yeah, thanks for releasing me today.
Okay.
Now let's get back to business.
Okay. Yes. So pink. So if you're viewing, you can see that Ashley is wearing a sequin number, and that's worth tuning in really on its own. I am wearing a far too tight jacket,
It doesn't look too tight from my perspective currently.
Okay. I feel
when you stand up.
No. No.
Okay.
That's a bad idea. But I do feel slightly restricted, which is what but I am wearing a very, very bright, like the brightest pink jacket. And
I have something to say, and I don't mean to cut you off, but this is related to the color that you're wearing, so it is very important.
Okay, I'm listening.
There is a Italian fashion designer, who is known for her bold, avant-garde designs, and I was obsessed with her when I was in fashion school. Her name is Elsa Schiaparelli, and she created the color shocking pink, which is what you're wearing right now.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. It is shocking pink. You're right. And you know what's bizarre? More than anything else in my closet, which may or may not be because it's 99% black, but I get more compliments on this jacket. And I should probably preface this by saying I'm not the biggest fan of pink, and that's really an understatement. Okay,
You're not at all.
I'm not a fan of pink. Like, I was so anti-pink for the longest time that I didn't even want my daughter's nursery to have pink in it because it was so frustrating to me that was all I could find for little girls anywhere, was pink everything. There were no other options, and that drove me crazy, right? So super anti-pink. And then for some reason, this jacket drew me in, and I get more compliments on it. And I have had more people say, "Oh, pink is your color." And I'm like, "Oh God, don't say that." No.
Yeah.
But I really admit that I like this jacket a lot.
But you have such a connection to pink because of your bathroom that I love to just know more about, not just because of the stuffed pink penis, but
yeah, right. Well, for the record, I no longer am the proud owner of this ridiculous pink bathroom. And it was meant tongue in cheek. Okay. So I was renting a house when I first moved to Nashville, which was it was like 17 years ago, which is crazy to me. I have lived as long in Nashville as I lived in Los Angeles, which is insanity. But I had this rental house, and so I couldn't change anything in it. And I loved this rental house, and it was perfect for me, except that the bane of my existence was this terrible Pepto-Bismol pink bathroom. And we're talking everything in the toilet was pink. The tiles on the floor were pink. The bathtub, God bless the human on this planet who thought it was a good idea to make a Pepto-Bismol pink bathroom. This had to have happened in like the 40s.
for sure.
But it had the pink bathtub. And I was just so disgusted by this bathroom. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I figured if you can't beat them, join them. And so I decorated this bathroom with as much pink as I could possibly find. My friend Sean had flown in from Napa Valley to spend a couple of days in Nashville, and he stayed with me, and he brought me this present. And he had visited before, and so he had seen that I had this pink bathroom. So he brought me 3 pink toilet seat cover, and then
Feeling inside right now.
that's right, yes. And then the wall, I thought these were real autographs. Secret, they weren't. I did them all, but I got all of these CT covers from Pink and Pink Floyd and the Pink Martinis and anything that I could find pink in the title, and signed them as if they were autographed, and framed them and put them in the bathroom. I mean, it really looked like Pink threw up in there. Which was just
Also, look at you forging signatures.
I know, right? Yeah. Only on those. Let's be clear that I've never forged a signature on anything else. Man to God. But yeah, so I put those up on the wall and had like pink lights in there, little fairy lights and all that. And then some friends and I, on a whim, possibly after a cocktail or two. Keep in mind, I was in my, I was like 30 at the time, didn't have kids yet and all that. We went to the Hustler store, and there was a giant pink stuffed penis. And I marched right up to the counter with that giant pink stuffed penis in my arms and paid for that.
Tell me, did you hold it like a baby on your hip?
It was like I held it like a football.
Okay, so like,
and cupped, because that was the appropriate way to hold it.
You're like, are you holding,
I feel uncomfortable with this conversation. The fact that I even paid for this thing is just, I don't know. I've had find a moment.
willing to share how much you paid for this thing?
No, I don't remember, right? Because it was 17 years ago. I mean, it was literally right when I moved to Nashville. So I don't remember.
So it wasn't like extraordinarily expensive, because I feel like you would remember if you paid, say, $600 for a pink.
Oh, for the love of God, no. No. We're talking, it was probably, $20 or something. I don't know.
How big would you say it was?
I mean, not that anybody who's not watching is going to know what I mean, it's the biggest penis I've ever seen.
So 3 feet.
Yeah, probably about 3 feet big. Yeah, 3 feet. So, yeah, and so I mounted that in the bathroom, and then I put a note on the door, and it was
Where in the bathroom was it mounted? Like over, like around the toilet?
it's like around the toilet area. Yeah, yeah. Well, you can't really put it over the bathtub, right? Because the moisture is not. Anyway, so yeah, it was a memorable bathroom to say the least. I had a sign on the front that said how I wasn't, how I hated pink, and um, it was like basically to give people fair warning before they walked into this shit show of a pink bathroom. Yeah.
Was this the only bathroom in the home, or were there others?
I'm trying to think now. I think it might have been the only bathroom.
Okay, so you literally got ready next to a stuffed pink penis for how many years?
It was 3 or 4.
Wow.
It was an extensional period of time. And it
Blend in and you didn't notice it, or were there like, oh, there's the penis and I'm getting ready? Like, when did it wear off and it was just part of the wall?
pretty quick, actually. Yeah.
Pretty accurate to most penises, really.
Well, because, when you're focusing on your makeup, you're really, and that was back when my eyesight was good. Although I will say that pink walls do not make for good makeup application.
I can imagine.
Not so stellar. Yeah, the glow, like that pink glow, is very confusing when you're trying to apply makeup. It really it doesn't. You then have to go outside and look in a mirror and make sure that you don't look like what's her name from the Drew Carey show?
Oh, is he?
Mimi. Yes, Mimi.
Yeah. Oh, I love Mimi.
Yeah. Unless, of course, that's what you're going for, in which case the pink bathroom is a perfect place to put makeup on.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hope that she got ready every day surrounded by the color pink.
I feel like she did. I want to believe that that's part of her personality. Yeah. So that's literally my story. Is I have nowhere else to go with it other than my penis in my bathroom.
Well, thank you for sharing and getting an insider's look at your life. Is there a photo? Did you ever think to take a photo?
Damn it, no.
Shame.
I am devastated to say that I do not have any kind of picture of said pink bathroom.
If given the opportunity to recreate the bathroom,
I would not do it.
You would not?
No. I'd feel like this was one of those you had to be there in that moment in time. It's just really, I don't think you can recreate that kind of
sure
that kind of an enchanting, captivating scenario again.
Yes. Is there an opportunity perhaps in the future to speak to someone who has had the experience of visiting that bathroom?
Yes. I definitely think. In fact, I have had several friends over the last few years go, hey, remember that pink bathroom? And I'm like, oh, do I? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is not something you see and then forget about. Like this doesn't, it's an indelible image in people's brains.
I'm sure it's very memorable for sure, because whoever takes a pee in the loo with a penis? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that,
yeah, like where do you go from there?
I think what we could say is that one thing that, like, just preparing to discuss the color pink and pickles and all of the things, I was actually shocked, as I might be walking into your bathroom, if it still existed. Mm-hmm. I was equally shocked to learn that the color pink was actually seen as a masculine color until the early 1940s.
Really?
Yeah, it says that pink was really recommended for boys due to its association with strength, and red was seen as such a powerful and masculine color, and blue was really seen as more delicate and was associated with the Virgin Mary, so it was assigned to girls. But magazines and advertisements in the 1940s and 50s really shifted that for Western culture, which is so freaking weird.
That's
because
fascinating.
I never would have thought pink for men, but I guess it does make sense if you're thinking about the color red.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I will say that I'm always very happy when I see a man wearing a pink shirt because it says a lot to me. I'm not, there's kind of like that hyper masculine guy who's like, I'm not going to wear pink. That's for girls. And that just drives me crazy. So, and it makes me really happy when I see, a guy walking around in pink and not viewing it as something feminine that, somehow renders them feminine. I guess because the social norms are so ingrained in us in terms of pink being for girls and blue being for boys. Again, I go back to, I couldn't find anything for my daughters. Knowing that I was having a girl, I was shopping for months leading up to them being born and looking at all of the adorable clothes. And I mean, every damn time it was pink, every damn time. And I feel like maybe we've moved away from that a little bit with sort of more gender neutral.
Sure, it's been 12 years.
It's been, right, exactly.
No, yeah. I guess it's like maybe a modern reclamation of that color or not using that color for me. I mean, our girls are the same age. So when I was shopping for her, I was choosing colors like yellow or like that light green color because I also did not want the pink everywhere. I didn't want a pink puke explosion. So, but I was okay with some pink, but I felt very strongly that like the nursery would not be that. So I agree with you in that sense. And I guess I'm really glad that there's more options now for parents. It's not been that long, so look at that progress. High five, America.
I know. Right, the moms have spoken.
Yeah. Maybe we can like organize around some other important issues.
What also do you notice? So you said yellow and green, right? Like green. Do you notice that the gender neutral stuff is really like cream, yellow, green?
Yeah, that's it. Those are the options.
Which is so bizarre to me because there's, a rainbow of fruit flavors out there available for the taking. Like, you've got purple and turquoise and I don't know. I just think it's kind of it's curious that it's always, but I guess maybe it's the same couple of companies that are really spitting everything out. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Yeah. But well, and when we're talking about kids where like I'm not spending $100 on a kid outfit, I refuse to. So
agreed.
Like the big box stores are easy because your kids are going to grow out of it. And so everybody gets the same colors and the same things at those places.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I think I'm going to try to take that pink. Into aside from my shocking pink jacket, maybe I need to kind of venture out a little bit and get outside of my comfort zone. And
I mean, it does look pretty stellar on you. You're beautiful always. And black is definitely the go-to. I know that about you. But when you put a pop of color on, I think that might be why you get so many compliments is because people are used to you in black. I feel like it's like, oh, look at me. This is a day of confidence for Jenna.
We're like, oh my God, the vampire has come out into the sun.
Yes. It is that. And I feel that way too. Like working from home, I rarely feel like a real person because I'm just like dressed from the waist up and I'm literally wearing blue flip-flops right now. Like there's...
Yes. Remember about 30 minutes ago when you asked me to stand up?
Oh. Well, look at this. I've got zebra pants on.
Yes,
and blue flip-flops and socks. This is reality. Like this, I'm fancy from the waist up.
I love so much that you wear. But can we talk about this for a second? Because I'm having big fucking feelings about your socks with your friends.
Yes. That's the signature look for me.
I know. That is a very Ashley look. Can you show everybody one more time, just for those who blinked and missed the first go round? It's socks with the flip flops.
Yes, and see, let's note the broken aspect of the first sock.
Yeah, we might want to get a new pair of those. Okay, well, since we're doing that, I mean, I too am wearing flip flops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I have a nice little clashy pink.
That's like a mauve with the shirt.
Yeah, mauve sweatpants on. Yeah. And flip flops. That was as good as it gets. Yeah, cheers with our now empty pickle bag.
Oh, wait, there's something left there.
You know what? I probably have a drop. I'll do a drop of.
Oh, that was the whiskey. Not a fan.
Oops. I had like I had like one drop left of both of them, and it was about as much as I can handle at this point of them.
I have one thing that I want to share. Like, I was just thinking about how the color pink has influenced architecture and design, and I found out and I was shocked. I did not know this. And my boyfriend is from Argentina and he's been here for about 23 years, but he's from there. And I did not know this, and he had never told me this. There is a pink house in Argentina that is like the White House here in the States, where the president, I guess it's the president of Argentina, lives in the pink house.
Really?
And it's all pink. It's all pink.
The inside or just the outside?
Outside is painted pink. Like the White House is white, the pink house is pink. And that's where the leader of Argentina resides. And I just thought that was really interesting because, it's a national symbol and it's a pink house. But I asked him about it and he got really excited. And he was like, oh, yeah, we have a pink house. And I was like, cool. Do you know anything else about it? And he was like, nope. That was it. Well, that was right. And also major letdown.
Right, it's sort of anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Named after it. Actually, I have noticed though, a lot, like when I was a kid, we took a vacation to Martha's Vineyard, and there are a lot of pink houses there because they've got this very uber charming gingerbread house sort of setup, right? And so tons of pink houses there, and that was really the last I had seen of pink houses until a couple of years ago. I ended up writing an article on pink houses because there are so many popping up, more than you would think. And in fact, now that I've said that, you're going to drive around the neighborhood and you're like, oh my God, holy crap, there's another one. But there's a lot of them. And there's especially in like the East Nashville area, I've seen like oodles of them. And in part, I wonder if that's because it's a pocket of town that's very sort of eclectic, and there are a lot of artists, and and so I think that.
And we get to have an HOA. Like, there's no one to tell us no. Don't put that sculpture in your front yard.
Yeah, that the HOA is definitely putting the kibosh on the pink house for sure. And possibly the pink flamingos in the front yard. But yeah, I think it's kind of taken off. I think people are feeling maybe like they can be more colorful and express themselves, and it doesn't have to be so cookie cutter. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing about the pink house in Argentina. Who knew? Other than your boyfriend.
And he never told me. Never would have shared that with me other than me doing the research for this episode.
Oh, there we go. See, we're just bringing out education everywhere. I will say that my kitchen has a lot of knowledge about pickles because my 9-year-old has recently become obsessed with pickle juice, and I don't know why. I should have mentioned this earlier, but yeah, Marlo has recently become really obsessed with it. And so the other day, she was like, hey, Mom, do you mind if I make a little concoction in the kitchen? And I was like, what kind of concoction are we talking about? Because I just cleaned the floor, and is this a concoction that's going to be everywhere? The answer to that should always be assumed yes. And she was like, I'm going to make a pickle juice slushy. And I was like, well, that sounds perfectly awful.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't tell her that, but good Lord, a pickle slushy. And she made it, and she asked me to try it, and I very reluctantly did take one sip. It was pickle juice with ice.
Yeah.
Well, and a bitter. Yeah.
That's what I was read from a 9-year-old.
Right. And it reminded me, the book Freckle Juice by Judy Blume?
Yeah.
Years and years ago.
Oh.
It's like she has, it's like her own version of freckle juice, I think, but it's pickle.
Does she make it often, or was it a one-time deal?
No, I think it was a one-time thing. I'm gonna go with she's not gonna do that again. But she has also frozen pickle juice and made pickle popsicles. Yeah.
Jenna, there is a pickle fanatical thing happening that we need to talk about this because it's trending on TikTok. And there are these, have you heard of the chamoy pickle?
No.
It's a spicy pickle, and you put it with I'm freaking blanking on what the name of these chips are. They're like the spiral ones, and they come like flaming hot, and you mash them up and put them on everything essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a recipe that you can find, and Wyatt found a YouTube short one day about making these chamoy pickles using these crunchy taquito type things.
Yeah.
And holy moly, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever tried.
Like I was getting ready for you to say, holy moly, it was delicious. It was disgusting. Okay.
Holy moly, it was a letdown, and like as many TikTok and YouTube recipes as I discover we try that are trending, it's not really that exciting, but it makes
not at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I've seen like pickle dip, for potato chips. I've seen there was one I saw video I saw the other day, and I'm not really like a TikToker. Is that a word? TikToker? I think
it sure is.
Cool. I'm going to go with it, whether it is or not. And I'm going to own it. So I'm not a TikToker, but I think a lot of those same videos show up on Instagram sometimes.
Few not either, but yes.
Right, exactly. It's like when you go to a small town movie theater and see the movies when they're actually in the theaters, but like after they've been in the main theaters, they'll go to the small town theater. It's kind of like that. They're going to the small town theater. But yeah, so I saw one the other day where so Marlo also, one of her other little fun things she likes to do is to take like a piece of Havarti cheese and put it in the microwave and like make it crunchy. So she turns them into crisps.
Oh, yeah.
So she makes herself cheese crisps, and they did kind of that same thing, but in the oven, with pickles. And I found myself saving this video because, of course, I'm like, oh, well, one of these days, and then they dipped them in homemade ranch. I'll admit, it looked pretty good. I mean, cheese. Anything with cheese is I'm in.
Yes.
Me some pickles, crisps, dipped in ranch. And I'm going to have to make them for her.
I want to be there when you do.
I can make that happen.
Yeah. I love a good deep fried pickle. That's been on menus. There.
Yep.
Not the healthiest choice, but I do love it.
No, but they're delicious.
Yeah. So I think pickles are on the upward swing again. They're going back to pickles.
Yeah, they're going back to pickles. It's like we've gone all the way around.
What has a pickle ever taught you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure about an hour ago I learned not to do pickleback shots. So that's what it's taught me.
I've learned I don't want to be in a pickle ever.
Oh God. Dad joke alert.
That's gonna be happening more often because you know it's a good bad joke.